Sam Logue here for irishboxing.com. Delighted to be joined by Brett Mcginty here on weigh-in day, just post weigh-in ahead of Brett's fight tomorrow night in the National Stadium in Dublin on the kind of Carl Greaves, Barry Walsh / Tony David show in the National Stadium. First of all, Brett, you've just weighed in. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, Sam. Just got a wee bit of fluid and a bit of food on me there now, so feeling good, really looking forward to it, and it's good to be back in the National Stadium again.
I'd say so. How does it look for you now from kind of post weigh-in to fight to fight time? You know, in terms of your food and your water and kind of sleep. How does that whole kind of 24 hours plus look for you?
Well, we have our load strategy that we follow, so obviously I'll just be following that. As far as nutrition goes, take it easy. Probably head out for a walk now. Get a nice bite to eat and then take it easy for the rest of the night. Nothing too out of the ordinary, just take it easy, make sure the nutrition's on point, and rest and recover and get ready for tomorrow night.
Good stuff. You're obviously trained by Ricky Hatton, which is a really big thing for you. He's not here at the moment, but he's flying in tonight. Talk to me about training with Ricky Hatton and the kind of influence and impact that he's had on your career.
I mean, joining Ricky in the first place was brilliant. It was a bit surreal whenever I got over there at the start, but I mean, I've been with him now for quite a while, so I suppose I kind of got over the initial, you're trained by Ricky Hatton kind of thing. But I think last weekend, him coming back and doing the exhibition with Marco Antonio Barrera kind of reignited that, that feeling of, hold on a minute here, it's Ricky Hatton at the end of the day. When we've seen the love the crowd had for him in the Manchester Arena last weekend, and even in the build up to the fight. I mean, he's probably one of the most loved British boxers of all time, one of the most followed, and for good reason as well, because he was an entertaining fighter and a damn good fighter. But I mean, it's good to have a man like that in my corner. I'm lucky that he'll be here in Dublin this weekend. He's flying in the night, as you said, and he'll be there giving me my instructions in the corner tomorrow night, and I'm sure I'll not be far wrong with him.
Absolutely. Talk to me about how it came about that you could even train with Ricky. Like, how was that connection made?
Initially it came from with Sheer Sports there now. I work with Sheer Sports and Jason and that. It was kind of suggested at the start maybe relocating to America, and that wasn't really something at the time I was interested in. So then they had mentioned that they'd worked with Ricky before, and it was pretty much like, do you want to go over, see how things go with him for a week, train with him, see if he's kind of hit it off, and pretty much see if he thinks the same of me. So then I went over for a week's training, got on really well, sparred well, done enough to impress Ricky, felt good, felt comfortable myself, and then I went on in the same with Sheer Sports, and then followed on to get trained by Ricky, and I've been there ever since, and I feel like I've grown as a fighter, and I've a lot more to show, and hopefully that'll start tomorrow night.
Talk to me about your relationship with Ricky, kind of in general, but also in terms of boxing itself. Like, are you a good stylistic matchup with Ricky in terms of how he fought, how he thinks about the game, in relation to how you fight yourself? Does it fit well? And then also, as I say, how do you kind of get along, and what's your relationship like with him?
Well, firstly, like, Ricky would be very good to us, like all his boxers. Me, Brad and Chloe live together in a house that's just around the corner from the gym. It's Ricky's house, like, you know what I mean? He looks after us. Anything we need is taken care of. He's in a very fortunate position that he's done really well in his career, and he's reaped the benefits financially, and he looks after us. We're very lucky that way. I mean, many boxers would love to have the support we have from him. And then on the other hand, in a fighting sense, I mean, we're very similar. He would say that himself. We're both big body punchers. I was a big body puncher throughout my amateur career, and I've kind of progressed that on and out into the pros, and that was his big thing. That was how he ground his opponents down, like, it's just wee tips here and there. He loved the left hook to the body, I do myself. Just wee tips he's given me over the last couple of years, and I'm looking forward to showing them. I have shown glimpses of it, but I mean, there's much more to come from me.
What do you think has been the biggest, how would you say it, like what has Ricky brought to your game? Do you think if there's any one or two things that you could say, he's really taught me this, or I've really improved in this area under Ricky, like what has that been?
I mean, one thing I've noticed, like over these longer rounds now, tomorrow night will be a 6-rounder. Like it's not a sprint, like, you know what I mean. You have time to get your shots off, and like in the earlier rounds for me now, it's something he's been kind of drumming into me that, you know, you don't need to go out all guns blazing. Just, you know, my style, I'm coming forward. You know, keep my opponents. What he always says to me is just, if you're on the outside, or if they're on the outside, and you're, you know, you just need to be stay close enough to them that they're working to stay away, that they're working all the time. You know, you don't need to be throwing punches 10 to the dozen from the first round on. You know, just nice single solid shots earlier on, keep my opponents working. And as he says himself, like as the rounds go on, they will slow, and then it'll come into your game. Like, and it's something I've noticed in sparring, it has been working, and it's worked very well recently. Like, you know, just that nice controlled pressure all the time, where it doesn't need to be going out in the first round and just throwing punches, as I say, 10 to a dozen. Just nice controlled pressure, nice single solid shots early, and then eventually you can start putting the punches together whenever the fight, you know, comes a bit closer, and you know, there might be a bit less in the tank, you know, from your opponent. So them kind of things have been really helping me so far, and you know, like, I'm looking forward to showing the improvements that I've made.
Class. Well, let's move on to the actual fight then. You're looking to show improvements in this fight tomorrow night. Most of the matchups on the card are kind of, let's say, fairly one-sided, you know, kind of journeymen, for lack of a better term. Like, what does that do for you when you're going into a fight like this? Is it kind of more the occasion and the chance to kind of show that you're getting better, or are you excited about a matchup? Do you know much about your opponent?
Well, the thing about it is, like, I just want to be showing improvements all the time. As you say about the opponents, like, I don't actually know much about the opponent. There's no footage or nothing on the internet, so it is a bit of an unknown. I think he's around 20 fights, he's won about half of them, so it'll be a decent test. I know he's done 8 rounds before, and he's done quite a few 6-rounders, so I mean, he's not going to be there to roll over, I wouldn't think. So I'm going to have to be on my game from day one. I'm very fortunate tomorrow night that I'll have over 200 people coming down from the northwest to support me, so there'll be quite a racket, like, you know what I mean. They'll make themselves known. So you know, I'm out to impress. I'm out to impress the boxing people. I'm out to impress the people that have spent their hard-earned money to come down and watch me. And you know, overall, I just want a good, solid performance. I want a nice win. Or, well, I don't want a nice one. I want an impressive one. And I want to just push on to bigger and better things.
What does it mean to you to be fighting back at home? You've had your first few fights in your pro career in England. Obviously, you're signed by MICK, which is something we'll talk about. But you know, it's been a turbulent time for professional boxing in Ireland, especially in the Republic of Ireland. What does it mean to you to be able to kind of to be back home and have that opportunity to get your own fans and your own people down to actually watch it, maybe more so than if you're in England? That
means everything, you know what I mean? It's the home of Irish boxing, National Stadium. It's somewhere I've had plenty of success in over the years. It's a familiar venue to me. It's somewhere I really like boxing, and I mean, I think it's absolutely ideal for a pro boxing show. Hopefully this is the first of many. Hopefully this is the first of a stream of multiple professional boxing shows, because I mean, the country's been starved of it. Like, you know, there hasn't been enough of it. There's been a few shows in Northern Ireland and Belfast. The Conlons have done a lot in Northern Ireland, but as far as in the Republic, there's been very, very little. I mean, we've been absolutely starved of professional boxing. For me, it means the world to be coming home and fight at home, and I mean, I hope this is the start of plenty more shows in the future, and hopefully this is the first of many fights at home for me.
Brilliant, yeah, that's what I'd love to hear. Hopefully, I had a chat with Carl Greaves, and he's obviously kind of the main name, if you like, behind the show. Obviously, there's guys in the background like Barry Walsh and Tony Davitt, who are really pushing the show from over here, from the side of being in Ireland and pushing the show. But he was saying to me, Carl, that the plan is to try and get more shows on in Dublin and in the Republic of Ireland, and really try and make a go of it. So that's obviously great news for you, and great to hear for all of us who are interested in Irish boxing. let's just touch a little bit on. I'm just looking at your top here. It's a nice tracksuit, by the way. You're promoted by Mcginty. Talk to me about that relationship and how that's gone. Obviously, you started off very, very strong, but we spoke earlier, and Mick has unfortunately lost the Channel 5 deal. So I'm interested in kind of how that's going, and maybe how your promotional contract is maybe affected by the fact that the TV is no longer involved.
Well, obviously, Mick losing out on the Channel 5 deal wasn't ideal, because obviously he was running all the shows through Channel 5, so he hasn't been in a position to run as many shows lately, and he's been working with Boxer and Sky Sports to get a few fighters on here and there, but I mean, he's not been able to run his own show. But I mean, he's working on a few things. He's working on a few things at the minute to try and get shows again, to be able to run his own shows. He's just asked for patience, and that's what we're doing now. We're giving him his patience. In the meantime, I had a fight in Doncaster earlier in the year, and I have this fight tomorrow night in Dublin to keep me active until then. But we're hopeful and we're confident that there'll be more shows from Hennessy in the future.
Brilliant. The last one I want to ask you about is, obviously you're working with Jason Quigley with Sheer Sports.
Yeah.
Jason's kind of he's your manager. What's it like to? I mean, you've got so many kind of high level people around you. I mean, even promotionally, Mcginty has handled some huge names in the past, the likes of Carl Froch and guys like this. You also have Ricky Hatton as your trainer, former world title challenger Jason Quigley as your manager. On top of being with Sheer Sports is obviously a recognised management group doing good things in the business. So, what's it like to have Jason there, kind of handling you and handling your career? How much confidence does that give you going forward?
It's brilliant to have Jason, to be honest. As much as it's been good to be with Sheer Sports, and it has been. Sheer Sports have done a lot for me, but it's been absolutely boosted since Jason's come on the scene, because Jason's only lives 20 minutes up the road from me, you know what I mean, at home, whereas Sheer Sports is based in LA, so it's kind of, you're sending a message and you might get a reply at 2 in the morning because of the time difference and one thing and another, whereas Jason's only on your doorstep. And plus, I've known Jason a long time. I used to watch his fights at school. When he boxed at the World Championships and the Europeans, his aunt would have been a teacher at my school, so I mean, he would have been a friend before he was my manager, and now I'm lucky enough to have him helping me and supporting me in my journey. And as you say, I've plenty of names there that know the boxing game in and out. I have the opportunities there that I need, so it's up to me now to take advantage of them and to make something of them, and push on the titles and bigger things.
Absolutely. Last thing I want to ask you, Brett, is just give me a bit of a prediction for tomorrow. We know you're going to say you're going to win, but how do you see the fight going tomorrow night with your opponent?
As I said, I don't know much about the opponent, so it's hard to say how the fight's going to go. But I know I'm in great shape. You know what I mean. One thing about me is, he's not going to have to go looking for me. I'm going to be there to fight. Anybody that knows me knows the way I fight. I'll be right in front of him. He won't have to go looking for me. So expect an explosive fight and expect a big performance from me, because I've put in the work and I'm ready to show it tomorrow night.
Brilliant. Brett Mcginty, thanks very much for talking to IrishBoxing.com. Appreciate it.
Nice one, Sam.